Alright guys, it's Vault Day again. Opening at basically right as the reset's about to happen. Always a special experience. Alright, but anyway, we're opening up on my second Demon Hunter. I was able to get a 110. I'm actually, instead of Ting Trinket, we're gonna open up in... What? I'm gonna quickly, before I actually open this, we're gonna go to Archon and check out what Havoc is doing for trinkets real quick. So Havoc is actually using Curstone Idol and Pacemaker. Seeing how this is like my additional project. I can actually open this one in Havoc. Get a Curstone Idol. So we're fresh. We just got looking for raid tier. Not even 4-piece. Alright, so our Mythtrek item is a Riss, which that's real bad. Could take tier. It would be Transmog. If I take Riss, I don't have any. Actually, I do have Riss to catalyze. Let's quickly go see if these are even worth catalyzing, because Haste Mastery is not ideal stats for us. For Havoc, it is Crit Mastery, usually. Crit Haste, okay, so I can make those Crit Haste. I think I got Crit Haste ones on my other Demon Hunter. But we will take those. All we got, because this is a veteran, just for me doing the time walking. Those are just transmogs from looking for raid. Could get the Reshy Boots, but I mean, they're looking for raid. I can go and get Reshy Boots anytime. Alright. So that's one character down. And even though it's only 2 minutes after the servers came up, I'm gonna guess the next server that we hop onto when we open up the vault is gonna be a quiet one. We're gonna get on the bear. While this is loading in, I'm gonna alt tab real quick. We're gonna look at Druid, Feral Talents, or Feral Trinkets. Looks like they're going with Signet, Pacemaker, Ritual Forge, Lily of the Turtle Weave, Antenna, of course, and then Sackbrood with Solea's and Signet. So, alright, those are pretty standard trinkets there. For the trinket side, we got Ritual Mud, Pacemaker, Tome, Sackbrood, ran from the raid. So we'll go ahead and open up a Guardian. What we're hoping for the bear is the weapon. We really need a Mythtrek weapon. I still haven't crafted yet. It's getting hard to get aggro on people. Alright, so we have the Haste First neck. That's a Bis neck, I believe. I'm gonna go with highly likely, yes. 18 plus 18 is the highest key, 37% representation in keys. Or we can go a Mythtrek helm or another a veteran helm. So if I went Mythtrek helm, I'd have to catalyze it. It would not give me force set. Let's see, how many charges do I have here? We have 2 catalyst charges. And I still have an additional one from not being 2k because I just the last one I gear up our dookies on for the week. I think I'm gonna go with the neck. Is it being Mythtrek? Ooh, I mean, but I could actually... Okay, so this is a hard choice. Technically, I could go the neck. It's a lot harder of a piece to get from Vault because any Mythtrek helm will work. So there's that many more helms, but because this one is the Haste First one from Tezavesh off, I want to say Saleya. Nope, must be Sozami? Does this one even drop off? Hooktail. This is one that I could potentially get from doing hard mode. Now, I haven't actually done a single hard mode this season. Still getting it hard, still hard to like sync up everyone's schedule to get in there and do it. That'd actually be a huge upgrade though. I did get a Ace Mastery one and a key. I mean, haste first is gonna be the better stats. It's not a weapon. It is absolutely tragic that I've not seen a weapon. I'll probably go another week before I craft. If I don't get a weapon then, I'm just gonna grab my weapon. Again, because my bear is just that far of a project for me. If I was to go the helm, that is main, you know, that is the biggest set of main stat, because helm, chest, legs, those are all the most stat value for armor pieces. Do I have a chest piece? No, I don't. Alright, we're gonna commit to it. We're gonna go with the neck. Neck's gonna be harder, even if I could farm it. I'll see many more pieces of helm and such from the vault opposed to the specific neck, because you know, I've got a chance for the other neck to drop, or the other necks to drop. And it looks like I got a Dawnbreaker key off that character. Alright, so for my next vault, also, I forgot to mention, all of these keys are going to be myth track. I only have one character that I probably won't show on recording. That is just looking for raid, transmog, and PvP. But the Demon Hunter I'm logging on now, my main Demon Hunter. This one only has 2 doors because I just ran out of time. After this one, the other remaining 6 will have 3 myth track doors for the dungeons. Alright. I'm already in Vengeance loot spec. And go ahead and open this one in Vengeance. The things that we're hoping for. Of course, we're hoping for a haste weapon from the Azavesh. Maybe another trinket. Ooh, oh, that is Alright, so here we definitely, this is a choice. So I could get tier. That would be this season's tier. I have only 1 piece right now, but I've got 3 charges. I have another myth track piece here. And I have a hero piece that I can catalyze there. So I could take the Tome of Light's Devotion. However, during the turbo boost, I will be able to purchase this when I get my resilient. Most likely. You know who turbo boost is coming back? And highly likely it's going to be the same thing where once you get 12s across the board, you can purchase your myth track items. So I think technically, even though Tome is so good for tanks because of the high crit that you get when it swaps from the armor to the other stat, you will go with the legs. And then just to double check that I do have all my charges. I have 4 charges, so yes, I do have enough once I sort out where my gear is, what I'm catalyzing, and whether I need to get gloves to catalyze into my 4 set. So we will go ahead and just snag those legs now. Alright, so for the next character, let me take a look at my DK. My DK, like classically I only play tanks, majority time. This season my DK, wanted to get around to tanking on doing like keys, tanking with it, but I've actually been really enjoying this experiment of doing one button rotation in keys. I just like, it's crazy how well you can keep up if you know what to do for the mechanics, you know what the important interrupts are, and I don't know what they did to one button DK, but it doesn't feel like I'm too far behind unless it's like strictly massively single target. If you put me up against like a DK that knows what they're doing and stuff, of course they're gonna blow me out of the water, but like in the keys that my DK is doing, I am doing just fine. Alright, so we are opening up an Unholy. The reason we are opening up an Unholy is because we want this trinket right here, the Curstone Idol. This one does a lot of damage in keys. DKs really perform well with it, and I don't get it in blood, which I might have opened up some of my vaults in, but now we're fully committed. What we're hoping for is the Curstone Idol, or maybe like maybe a weapon that is not a Curstone Idol. Burst Mastery with Leech, or Haste Verse on the neck. Burst Mastery. We're just going to quickly take a look at Archon, see what kind of representation we got from these items on people. So for the neck is not really being worn. It's 1.7%. Plus 17 is the highest bracket that it's been seen in on Archon. For the boots, if I took the boots, it would just be upgrading my Reshi boots later, because the Reshi boots are ideal. However, these boots do have a decent representation. They are 7.9% popularity, and plus 18 is the highest key. And as far as this trinket, yeah, it's not even in the top key. It's not even in the top trinkets listed on Archon. So it must not be that good at all. If I did take it, it would purely just be for eye level. So that when I got another trinket, I already had half the equation. I think I'm gonna go with the boots. For the neck, I have technically the best, so I could go with this. I could go with the neck. I'd be skipping out on the leech, but then I'd be able to upgrade this. Mastery other stats for DK, but let's go take a look before I pull that out of the vault and go see what that catalyzes into stat-wise. Because if those Verse Mastery boots are decent, like if it's decent stats, even though those aren't my ideal, like, you know, it's not the Reshi boots. Crit haste. High crit, low haste. Huh. Alright. Well, I want to say that likely the best one will be this one for item level upgrade, because this is a veteran piece that's already maxed out. That's as high as it go. I will get some mastery. The leech is nice. I could turn it to crit haste leech. And then when I get the Reshi boots, so I mean it'll be crit haste on the Reshi boots. We're gonna go with the boots. Not ideal, but I don't have Reshi boots. And it has leech, and I can turn it to crit haste. So it's we're making the best out of what we got in there, right? Fire key. My other characters get anyway. Dawnbreaker, Streets, Gambit. Those are some easy keys. Alright, for my next character, we'll go ahead and go to the Monk. And we'll go to the Warrior. Monk, I actually have really enjoyed the Warrior. I did catalyze last week. My Thunderclaps are doing their proper thing now. We'll see. Let's see if we get a shield for the Warrior or a weapon. I did think about opening my vaults on my shield tanks in their DPS specs just so I can get like a two-hand weapon on all of them, because I did craft. But I'll probably just start doing that once I actually get the sword and shields for them. I rarely DPS. That's why the DK has been a fun thing, because it's so different for me. Alright, so we're 705. Things we're hoping out of here for are gonna be Pacemaker, Sword Shield. Really just Pacemaker, Sword Shield, maybe the Crit Haste Ring. Oh my goodness, we got the weapon from Tazavesh. That's Crit Haste. Those are the stats we want. I don't even really want to look at these, but like we got First Mastery Gloves, which I have Mid-Track Gloves. We have First Mastery Shoulders, which we got Hero Shoulders. That would be a good upgrade, but the weapon's definitely the play, because that's half the equation towards my main hand offhand. Even though, like, I waste... This technically means I wasted a spark. Like, I take those every time. Because once I get that, once I get the shield, then I start opening up in DPS spec. Which would likely be arms, just because I wouldn't get one hands at that point. And my warrior already has a tome, so that's a good thing. So, next character. We're going on the Monk. The Monk, we're really hoping for the staff from Arakara. But Harvester's Edict or something like that? That might be the trinket. Let's see, we'll just pop over to Archon while this is loading. Again, one day I'll actually put my my web browser up there so that while I'm talking through Archon, it's actually being seen. The Harvester's Interdiction is what it's called. It's a first mastery staff that has the chance to inject volatile blood, black blood into your target, inflicting shadow damage. Has a hidden interaction where if you have the trinket from that same dungeon, I think it procs more. Which technically I am wearing. I used to be wearing the Taken Sack of Terror or something like that. However, I got trolled by my Taken Sack of Terror because I would accidentally hover over something and click it in the background, and even though that thing was way further than all of the range that I have, it was just triggering and causing the pull. So we're gonna go ahead and open up in Brewmaster 702. This is that weapon I was talking about that we really want. That is not the weapon. However, that is a Myth-Track Shoulders. Okay, so... Ooh, and a normal Ritual Forge? That would have been so good. I can't believe I did that much world stuff. I guess, yeah, it makes sense. I did do my world quest on this character. Anyway, so we got the Shoulders, Myth-Track, Haste Mastery. I do not have Shoulders. I'm still wearing Shoulders from last year. I do have 3-piece, so this would give me 4-piece from this season, and then I could drop my gloves if I even have gloves to put on, which I do. I got Haste Verse gloves. So if I pick this one up, I don't have to catalyze. It completes my 4 set. Neck would just allow me to upgrade this. The Haste Mastery would be good for Windwalker, I believe. Looking at the overview for Windwalker, they are Haste Mastery. Ritual Forge would be super nice. A lot of stats off that. Great trinket. I actually don't know if that's a good trinket for Brewmaster, but I like using it on my other thing that has it. Doesn't really have any representation from the top keys for Brewmaster. So we're gonna go ahead and lock in those shoulders. That's 4 set. That gives me 3 Mythtrack armor pieces for tier.
That's pretty good.
I got the Carved of the Ethereal on my monk off that. So that's always a good thing. You know, let's throw those on right now. I'll catalyze the look later. I do not want to be this female dwarf. Just quickly go pick up my Valor Stones from the mailbox. That's 4 set. That is actually going to improve things a lot for my monk, most likely. It feels like a lot of the sets, even though I normally don't feel like it's too big of a difference. Normally. I can't actually remember how I felt about tier sets last season, like going from season 1 to season 2. But it definitely, this season is just like, my warrior really needed tier, my pallies, oh my goodness, the difference of the pallies from having 4 set and not having 4 set night and day. But the warrior felt that way too. Guess I'll find out this week on my monk with what 4 set does for it. Actually, I don't even really know what the 4 set does for monk. But it's been real fun playing the monk and learning how to do all that stuff. Alright, so 2B, we actually do have a Mythtrack 2 hand that we picked up like week... I want to say it was week 1. It was the crit strength or crit verse one, so not exactly ideal stats for DPS, but it's a Mythtrack one nonetheless. We will be opening this one in protection loot spec. We were already in. Ooh, okay, so we have a Mythtrack chest already, which that's what this one is right over here. These are Mythtrack Haste Mastery wrists, which are pretty nice wrists. Not for the effect though. And there's a Salea's technique with Leech, and that Leech is actually going to lock that spot in for me because while I can buy the Salea's later, I cannot buy it with Leech, and I don't actually have really that many trinkets from this season. That would actually be my second trinket, which means I would be able to upgrade everything else up to 704 as well. So that is what we're going to lock in. This is just looking for raid transmog. Which only one I didn't have is that shield. But I will get it eventually. So we're locking in a Salea's technique with Leech. I want to say all of my pallies has Salea's technique now, because I think I'm actually wearing a Mythtrack one on my main pally as well. I am. We'll go ahead and stick that one in. Put that there just so I don't forget it. Just to keep my trinket slots uniform. Even though I'm not wearing that trinket, I'll put that there because that's not an unused trinket. Character. Report my good luck to the guild. Alright, now on to my second pally. Second pally, second to the last character that I'm doing on the recording. This one we're still hoping for any kind of main hand or offhand. Same with the main pally, we're actually still hoping for any main hand or offhand. I can't actually. I think the myth-track items I got on this character was like a neck, one of the armor pieces, and I can't remember. I think it's 2 armor pieces. We're 710. We're doing well. Neck, helm, and shoulders. Those are the items that we've got. We do have a sack braid with speed. We got a ring from Dimensius from the weekly time walking. We will be opening in protection because we are hoping for a sword shield always. Or is there anything else that we want from that? I mean, really, it's just sword shield. Ooh. Okay, so we can get myth-track pants that we could turn into here. That would make it to where I've got a myth-track helm, myth-track shoulders, myth-track pants, or I can go with a good crit haste ring. We are at 1300 mastery with 5,000 or 3,500 mastery coming from the ring. That is a good ring. Just grab data from Archon real quick. For protection, gear sets. Let's see how many people are wearing this ring currently. So the one from Dawn that I have on my other pally is got higher representation. So let's quickly take a look at the difference between these 2 rings. So this is this one over on the far right. The Devout Zealot's ring is 5,400 crit with 2,400 haste, and this one is higher haste but lower crit, so 3,000 haste or 3,000 crit with 5,900 haste. That's a lot of haste. Ooh. Oh my goodness, that would giga haste cap me. Okay, so we are definitely going to be making a choice with this one. If I take the legs, that gives me main primary stat, which is always good. It's a tier piece that I'm already using. It's crit mastery. I technically do still have a charge because we got a charge this week, and I had a charge saved up. If I take the ring, I'm going to be losing 3,500 mastery. I'd be keeping the haste, so I'm just going to be gaining a bunch of crit, which would be good for damage. I actually don't have that much crit, really. Why don't I have that much crit? Haste mastery, haste mastery, haste mastery. Okay. If I did this, let's just take that ring off real quick, see what our stats are right there. I could change my cloak over to it. Yeah, I'm getting haste from that. If I change my cloak to... If I change my cloak to mastery... Versus mastery. So we change the cloak over to mastery. The number that we're looking to get to is 10,800, which... Checking that again, we're getting haste from this. We have 260 from our flask. So we would be able to put a mastery cloak or mastery gem into our cloak, and that still keeps us at the right point. We're still in massive DR, but we're gonna gain crit off this. We're gonna gain 3,000 crit, so we're gonna be up to 10,300 crit roughly. And then we still have just enough mastery. Oh, we are like so giga deep into haste. Like, we have dug a hole, and somehow we're 16,000 crit short. Actually, we'll only be 3,000 crit short. But I've got 3,000 more haste than the average person, but that's also... So for this choice, we are going to go and take the ring. Reason being, it's a lot harder to get a ring than it is to see pants. I will see pants. I already have tier. That's half the equation for a myth track ring. I don't have any other myth track rings. Yeah. So, out of the items that I got with swapping my cloak mastery, and the fact that I've got mastery wrists, mastery boots, and mastery gloves currently, and a neck, I think this will be a good get for us. The legs would be nice, but I'm to be honest, I'm just gonna see legs again in the vault. It will happen. There's so many more legs out there than there are that one particular ring. While that one particular ring is not the Devoured Zealots one, it's still a very good ring. And that. Pop that on. Item level higher with this one? No, it was 710 flat. Okay, I was about to say, how does that work? So yeah, we are at 10,000 or 11,000 mastery. We're getting crit from the flask, so we're fine there. At 13,000 crit. We're in a good place. We are in a good place with the second pally. Now, moving on to the final paladin and final vault that I'm doing for the video. On this paladin, we really hoping for a sword and shield. If both sword and shield could fall out in one go out of this one vault, somehow, that'd be great. We would just color it a bug and then never report it, and then just roll with it. So sword, shield. We have a Mythtrack Solea's. Other items that we have that were Mythtrack was the ring and the neck. I do believe I have like 1 or 2 charges on Catalyst. We'll take a quick look. We've got 2 charges, so I had 1 saved up, plus we have 1 from this week. So out of the things that we could gain here, it could be any piece of tier that we want, so we can upgrade these ones. Best would be a sword or shield. Shield would be great, but the problem with the shield is the one shield that we do want is from the raid from Lumathar. The crit haste one. While the one from dungeon would probably be like the crit mastery one. Most likely. Let's take a look and see what people are actually wearing for the shield before we open this. So yeah, it looks like the crit mastery one would be the item that we would hope for. This one right here. The other item would be from Azavesh. There's a crit mastery shield. Right there. This one is low crit, high mastery, and then the Ecodome one is high crit, low mastery. So we'd want the Ecodome one because we want the crit a lot more mastery. We only want so much of it. Alright, so from the dungeon slots, we have the Haste Mastery Ring from Eco. We have a Haste Verse Gloves. And then we have Crit Mastery Hands already tiered. So we can save a tier charge. We can get the Crit Mastery from it. And then that would allow us to switch any of these ones out for another item. So let's take a look here. We do have a Crit Haste Shoulder in the bag. Which that would be better than the Haste Verse most likely. I mean, the Verse would be kind of nice just to have a little bit of Verse. But like, I mean, I've got no Verse right now. Somehow on Archon it's showing that people are wearing about 4,400 verse. I do not have that. So if I was to do this, gloves would be the best choice there. If I was to take the ring, that would sort out my rings for the season. I almost should take the ring. I really almost should take the ring. If I take the ring, that's my haste mastery ring for the season. I'm already wearing it. I'd be able to upgrade it to 720. Both those slots are taken care of. I wouldn't really have to worry about any other rings for the season unless I was getting the one from Raid off Dimensius, which is a great crit haste ring. One that I have on my other paladin. Only champion level though. That it does the reduced damage for the Rescue Wrap Cloak. That would be ideal. I am just shy of having enough mastery. Interesting. So I'm just shy of having enough mastery. And when my flask goes to verse, I actually have enough verse according to the stats. So I wonder if those stats are with just pure gear or if they're factoring in the flask. So I think we go ring. The ring would sort me out for the rest of the season on rings, for the most part. Everything from the raid slots are just hero track items, so I'm not really looking at those. I'm more here for the long-term investment. That's just the world delve slot. Yeah, we'll see more myth track gloves. But that particular ring, same case. If you see rings, if you see these like additional slots, it's a lot harder to see them. The trinket ones you got to think about, like how important is that trinket versus whatever other items you have. I will go with the ring. We'll just quickly look at Archon again one more time on the other monitor. The ring that the Whispers of Koresh and the Devout Zealous ring, those are both listed as BIS on there. So the BIS is probably coming from Wowhead, I believe. In fact, that would make it to where I've got the BIS ring, I've got the BIS neck for the Paladin. Oh wait, no, BIS on Archon for Paladin is actually being listed as the Infinite Light from the Haze first one that I got for the bear. That's what they've got listed, even though this one has more popularity. I wonder if it's just saying the other one's BIS because of, like, you're getting some bursts in your gear, even though, like, you only need as much verse as you need to live, and you only need as much mastery to get your mastery cap. And you throw everything in haste crit, and you just kind of go up in verse as you need. We go with the ring. So all of those vaults were extremely pleasing. Let's quickly go take a look at the weeklies. What are we doing this week? For the dungeon, we're doing Dawnbreaker, so that's just going to be done passively while we're doing stuff. For the other weekly, it's Delve Week. This discussing. Maybe that was last week. Follow the World Soul. I could go out to Koresh. Could do a dungeon. Any seasonal dungeon is going to be so much easier. Because I'm just going to do that. That will literally just happen while I'm doing other stuff.
Our deeds give it strength.
And then going over here for the PvP weeklies. Arcs in the Ringing Deeps. And then what else we got? Skirmishes, so that's honor from just normal skirmishes, and then solo shuffle. Alright. Well guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rambling about how I choose my gear and what my mindset is with all the different characters. I will catch you guys in the next video. I will upload this one today actually. Alright. Bye bye.